Hi, everyone. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. Let us see what's happening here. Who's here? Let me say hello. Let me turn off my music. How is everybody? I had a really busy day and really behind on the trial today. So you guys can help me out today on this one because I listened to bits and pieces. Hello, Corinne. How are you? So I'm going to listen to bits and pieces. I'm not done listening to the thinking it was the last witness of the day, the woman police officer. Hi, Angie B. How are ya? The last witness of the day was the police officer woman that came to the house. Hi, Angel, Ruby, Sarai. How are you guys? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So anyway, did everybody get a chance to watch today? I'm catching up now with you because I had to work and it was just a busy day. And the cat, I swear, he is just so much trouble. Today was great. Okay. So I have heard, but I wanted to finish listening to Lori cross-examine the police woman detective that questioned her entirely. But was there any other big something really good to listen to that I might have missed? Let me know. Yeah, I will. I'm so tired. So just FYI, so my son and his friends came out to go to Coachella yesterday, and they were able to get a one day somebody's wristband that they were selling that wasn't going to stay for Sunday. And so I didn't get any sleep because they went to Coachella, but I needed to be able to let them back in the gate when they came through in the neighborhood because my other son took my fob and anyway, So I slept like crap and they didn't get back to like 3 a.m. So anyway, I'm a little foggy today. And then I worked and it's Monday. And then we had an earthquake today and it was pretty strong. I was at a patient's house and my phone did the whole, what does it say? I always forget what it says. It says something like, hold on, cover, drop down, hold on, shaking expected, drop down, something like that, like like that Amber Alert noise. Hold on. And I was like, oh my God, I was at a patient's house. I was trying to put a lockbox on her door. Her caregiver was with me. I was on the phone with one of our social workers and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting an earthquake warning. And she was like, oh, I'm getting it now too. And then I go, well, here it comes. And I just kind of made sure nothing's going to fall on my head where I was out front. And it just was like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. My little patient was just sitting in a recliner in the house. Like, I go back to check on her. I'm like, are you okay? She said, yeah, nothing foul. She has a lot of stuff on things, but it was pretty kind of, I don't know if I love getting the warning. I guess it's better because if you're somewhere where something's going to fall on your head, you can hurry it. Like if you're in the middle of freaking Costco or something, right? You can cover. But I was like, oh my God, no, freaking Monday. I would tell my social worker, I'm like, freaking Monday, I was talking to her. Oh, you're in Connecticut? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, the baby. That's super cool. Aw. It's just like it was like a million of them too. It's from like 10, it was like at 10:07 a.m. And then I was like, hold on. But I wish I could remember what that stupid thing says because it's like, "Wah, wah, wah, hold on. Cover your head. You're gonna die." That's a feeling. Life is over in about 2 seconds. It was a 5.2. They said it was 6.2, but they downgraded it. Sizable quake strikes in Julian area. Um, no tsunami anticipated. I wouldn't expect one. Julian's in the mountains practically or at the foothills. In the Julian area, San Diego County today, but there were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. Oh my God, that cat. I wish you guys could see this. He's literally opening the door. I'm going to show you. But anyway, No immediate, but anyway, it's Southern California initially putting the magnitude quake at a 6, but later downgraded to 5.1, then revised it to a 5.2. The shaker was felt as far away as Orange and Riverside counties and in West Los Angeles. A series of aftershocks quickly hit. You see? Can you see him? Look. Having a rough day. Oh, he got it. He's leaving. Bye. Now he opened the door, dummy. Can you believe that little stinker? He opens all the doors. If you have, oh shoot, if you have any doors closed, he literally opens them. Now I messed up stuff. Okay. So anyway, you guys don't have earthquakes over there across the pond, huh? Greece does. I guess it's just my. Did you see that? Yeah. And you can't have any doors closed in this house because he opens them all. Like, I have to lock my mom's door from the outside so he won't go in there and bust in there because it gets her all stressed out. But yeah, darn cat. Anyway, so that was my day. Work, earthquake. My son kept me up because they were at Coachella and I had to let him in. And so I'm a little unfocused on what happened today. So I'm relying a little bit on you guys to help me out. So yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, it's just kind of been, I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of those weeks. I just got through the weekend and here we go. Here we go. Now he's back because he just doesn't want the door closed. That's just the bottom line. Door's closed, that he won't have it. Nope. I'd open the dang door. All right. So Lori Vallow. Okay, let's get to the point, Kathy. I want to pull up. I want to watch Lori cross-examine the detective at I think it was at the end of the day, if I'm correct, because that's where I was just now trying to listen to that. And I want to get you guys' input as much as possible on what you think. She's still got her little snippy attitude to everybody, as to be expected. But can you imagine if you're the jury now? Wouldn't you be kind of like over her at this point, and her attitude and her lies that keep getting lie after lie after lie keeps getting exposed, and she just goes up there and acts like she's the queen of whatever, England or Arizona or whatever she's at, Idaho. Anyway, she has no shame. That's a great way of putting it. No shame. It's everybody else's fault. Lori is too much. All the questions for the officer and none of it mattered. That's what she does. She asks all these questions to try to act like, oh, you didn't see me drive up? What? You didn't see me get there? Well, was something blocking your view? Like, you stupid officer. How could you not see me, Lori, drive up? I looked cute that day. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the poor judge. We need to send him I don't know, quart of whiskey or something. All right, let me find out where my history, if I'm in the right. Today. Here we go. Let me I want to go here and then we could go back if there's anything. Why not? Okay. Hold on. Let me see. I mean, she's going to fade into the abyss after these trials are over, but in the meantime, she is so narcissistic. Yeah, she has no clue. She's super clueless. She doesn't even, I don't think she's actually trying to prove her innocence. I think she's trying to prove that everybody is stupid and she's smart or something. It's almost like she doesn't get what she's supposed to be trying to prove, All right, let me find it. I want to watch this one. Oh, here she comes. Okay, I found her. Okay, let me see. Make sure. All right. Let me share my screen and we will watch this nonsense. Hi, Carolina. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Unmute. Unmute. Oh my God. Okay. Ready? Set. Why does this not let me go full screen? Hold on. It should let me go full screen. Try that one more time. Nope. Oh, stop. See, this one woman show sometimes is a little difficult. Okay. When you're the backstage person and the front stage person and the everything. All right. Now I can do it. All right, here we go. Make it bigger. And play. Ready? Here we go.
Detective Inkland, who was the case agent on July 11th, 2018?
That would have been Detective Moffett, who's now Lieutenant Moffett.
Okay. And then when did Detective Duncan when did the switch happen from Detective Moffett to Detective Duncan being the case agent? Do you know?
When Detective Moffett was promoted to Sergeant Moffett, once you're promoted, you go back to patrol as a supervisor. So when you leave the unit, we reassign case officer responsibility to a detective that's currently inside the unit. So if somebody retires or promotes, that case agent responsibility would shift over to someone else.
Okay. Do you know when that was about?
I don't.
Was it like sometime in that year, 2019, or much later?
I don't know.
Okay. You had talked about when you got the call to come and respond to the house on July 11th. About what time was that?
It was probably about 10 or 15 minutes after the initial radio traffic. I just remember I was on the 202 going westbound and my phone rang.
And when you showed up, you had stated that Alex was seated on the curb. Is that correct?
He was the first time I noticed him, yes.
And you also stated that an adult female and Tylee were already across the street when you arrived?
No,
Oh, we weren't there yet.
no.
Okay. How long after you arrived did we arrive?
I don't know when you arrived. I just became aware of you at some point. I did not see you arrive. You were not there when I got there, but at some point you got there and I became aware of you outside.
Okay. But you weren't in the house, correct?
No,
In the morning? So where were you that you didn't see us coming up at that, in between that time?
I was in front of the house.
And was your view obscured by something?
I don't believe so.
So you didn't see us drive up, you just noticed us being there at some point?
Correct.
Okay.
Does that crack you up? Like, why is this important that she didn't see you drive up, Lori? Like, all about Lori. You're supposed to notice me. It is really ridiculous, the questions she asks and how narcissistic they truly are. Like, textbook, almost above textbook. All right, here we go.
And when you first saw us, what were we doing? Were we talking to the officer
I believe so.
or waiting to talk to the officer?
When I first saw you, Officer Krautheim was standing with you, and it appeared like you were all talking together. I couldn't hear you from where I was at. I just noticed you.
Okay, so you saw him talking to us, but you didn't see us initially come up before when he told us to stay where we were. You didn't see that part.
I just became aware of you standing there.
Okay. And you talked about my demeanor, right? Being ordinary. Is that what you said?
Being ordinary?
I mean, that must be insulting to be called ordinary Lori. Ordinary Lori. There's another tagline t-shirt. Don't flatter yourself, ordinary Lori. Let me see what you said, Deborah. She was trying to make her look bad for asking her to step out of the car. The detective didn't want to tell her husband was deceased in front of Tylee. It was so condescending and pointless. She's just a piece of work. Okay, go.
You said ordinary, non-emotional, nonchalant.
Correct.
What's your definition of nonchalant?
Pretty almost detached, just calm, doesn't really matter, kind of not extraordinary.
Do you have a degree in psychology?
I do not.
Do you know what a person should act like if they're in a stressful situation?
So there isn't one way to act. There's just behavior that is striking.
Striking behavior.
Correct.
Okay. At some point when you came over to talk to me and my daughter, did we express to you that she needed her medications that were in the house?
I believe so. And that
And what did you instruct us about?
at one point I advised the detectives that were inside of that request, but that a search warrant was happening inside the house. So we would do our best to facilitate people getting things from the house. But the search warrant's going to take precedence to what's going on.
Right. So basically that it's a crime scene and we can't really enter, but someone would try to get them for her?
Correct.
Okay. And did someone go and get them for her?
At that point, we did not have a search warrant. We weren't going to be entering the house or removing any items from the house. We didn't have legal authority to go in and remove items without a search warrant. So nothing was going to be removed from the house at that point.
But you were aware that she needed her panic attack medicine?
I was a-
Objection.
I wonder what medication is Tylee's panic attack medication. I'd have panic attacks too if Lori's my mother. I mean, she probably needed a whole lot of something to keep her from having anxiety around her own mother. But all of a sudden, this is such a big deal to Lori. Hi, neighbors. It could be Xanax, it could be Ativan, it could be, anything like that. But I'm just curious to see if, she was so young to have her on a benzo, routinely seems like, I don't know. But her father, they probably did give it to her after Joe Ryan died. I got to close the door and hold on. He's going to come back in and open it again, though. They probably did give her something for anxiety when Joe Ryan died, but Lori does. You're right, Mark? Probably an inhaler. But I don't know. Half of everything that Lori says, you need to twist it, because she twists everything. She makes everything more than it is, or different, or makes herself look more victim-y or exaggerate. So, when Lori's talking, it's 50, maybe more like 90-10 that she's telling the truth. 90, she's not.
As to testifying and asked and answered.
Sustained, you can ask her if she was aware that she needed that medication.
You were aware that she needed her medication.
I was aware you made a request for her medication.
And it would have been non-emotional if I was trying to be calm for my daughter.
Trying to object to speculation.
Sustained.
Were you being calm?
I believe so.
Was Officer Krautheim being calm?
I think so.
Were the firefighters being calm?
I didn't see the firefighters or have any interaction with them.
Were the other detectives being calm?
I believe so.
The EMS guys were being calm?
Again, I didn't see them and have any interaction with them.
But it was a pretty calm environment that day, was it not?
I don't know if I'd agree with that, but
Well, no one was running around hysterical, right?
correct.
Okay.
There's a dog out front barking. I knew I unmuted at the wrong time. Stop. People walk dogs. She pulled this on one of the other officers. Were you calm? Was I calm? Is it unusual to be calm? Is anybody running around acting all crazy and panicky? Da, 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 da. What is your point, Lori? People were calm. You were nonchalant and ordinary. Different than calm. My husband was just killed and there's not a tear coming down my eyes, and I was there and I didn't call 911. Hi, Justine. Calm for 600, please. Can you use calm in a sentence? That's funny. Hi. All right, let's listen to this clown. This ordinary clown. I'm going to call her Ordinary Lori from now on. I like it.
The information that you received from the briefing, was that from Officer, is it Krautheim? Sorry,
Krautheim.
Krautheim.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Was Officer Krautheim the one that gave you the briefing on what had happened?
So Officer Krautheim and Officer Wisbicki, who Sergeant Wisbicki now, provided information to the detectives and my sergeant that had arrived.
And then who briefed you personally?
So it's a kind of a collective conversation where the initial information is provided and then we start doing assignments, basically.
Right, so Officer, sorry, say his name one more time.
Krautheim.
Krautheim.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to write that in
I'm
phonetically.
gonna again object
I'm sorry.
to testifying.
So he was wearing a body cam, is that correct? That day? Officer Krautheim.
Correct.
And so was that briefing on body cam?
I don't know.
Now you talked about the death notification to me and to Tylee. You said that Tylee and I were in the van. Is that correct?
Correct. When I came over to talk to you.
And who was with you?
My sergeant, Sergeant Lockwood.
And was Detective Moffat not with you as well?
He was not.
And so you had stated that you had asked me to get out of the van? Is that correct?
I was trying to get you to come. My intention was to get you to come out of the van. And then you made a statement that you were there. You already knew.
What did you say that made me say that I was already there?
I was asking you to step out of the van, and you said, I was there, I already know.
I already know what.
That Charles had died. I was trying not to tell you in front of your daughter.
That would have been nice, but that wasn't the point. How did I know you were coming to give me a death notification?
Can I object to speculation?
Sustained.
Did you notify me that I'm going to give you a death notification? I don't want to do it in front of your daughter? What did you say?
It would be slightly redundant to tell you I was doing a death notification if I didn't want to tell you in front of your daughter.
Why would I say to you,
What in the heck? Okay. I don't know. It's like, who's on first, Lori? What is your problem? She wanted to privately talk to you. How hard is that to wrap around your head? Here comes the cat opening the door to come back in. Ever since he learned this trick, he thinks he's really cool to open doors wherever everybody is. But anyway, I don't even know what to say about this. I'll just go on. I don't even know what to say.
I already know?
Sustained. That's the form of the question calls for her to speculate about your state of mind.
So did you speak to me giving me a death notification, or was it Lockwood, sorry. Who spoke to us,
We were both involved in the conversation.
and what was said to us?
You said that you were there and you already knew. And at that point, shortly thereafter, I asked you if you and Tylee would come back to the station to do interviews so I could talk with you.
You asked us if we would come, or you said we're going to go down to the station and interview you?
I asked you if you would come. It was a consensual contact. It was a voluntary interview.
And is this on body cam?
I did not have a body cam at the time, no.
Did Lockwood have a body cam?
He did not. He was assigned to investigations.
Just the way she talks is so naughty. Did you have a body cam? Did Lockwood have a body cam? Like her little sing-songy like BITC, you know what? Ugh. She bugs me more and more. The longer she does this, the worse she's
So we voluntarily went to the station, is that correct?
Correct?
And you drove, is that correct?
I did.
And it was a 20 or so minute drive.
About that.
And we arrived at the station, and you separated us into 2 rooms, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you ask me permission to speak to my minor daughter?
I indicated to you that I wanted to interview both of you and that we would go do the interviews in the Family Advocacy Center.
And what is the protocol for interviewing a minor?
It depends on the circumstances where you're interviewing them.
Okay, and are you a certified forensic interview of children?
I am.
And so would that be something that you would ask the parent if you could interview the minor child?
It depends on the circumstances.
Okay, and did you ask me?
I did not specifically ask your permission.
Did you ask Tylee if she wanted to be interviewed?
Can I object to hearsay?
Well, the question, I'll overrule the objection. The question is, did you ask Tylee yes or no?
I did at one point ask if I could speak with her.
Did either of us know that we were being videotaped?
I don't know.
Were we told that we were being videotaped?
No.
At that time, when we entered into the rooms, you left Tylee in there alone and came in to interview me. Is that correct?
Correct.
And how long was that interview that you and I had?
I think it's about 35, 40 minutes, maybe a little longer.
And so that whole time, Tylee was in the room by herself,
Correct.
not knowing she was being videoed. Correct.
I don't know if she knew or not.
And without her medication.
Look at this sweet protective mommy worrying about her baby, that they talked to her without mommy's permission and she didn't have her medication. Isn't that heartbreaking? And then this jury doesn't know that you actually murdered your child. You are such an idiot. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, she's pissing me off right now. Like acting like she was so worried about her kid. Less than a month later, she murdered that young girl. So what this show is about is complete and total nonsense. She's such a jerk. Oh my gosh, such a jerk. Ugh.
Correct.
I don't know, but I believe so.
And I was worried about her, if you recall. Is that correct?
Object to relevance.
Sustained.
Do you always wear your gun when you are doing a forensic interview of a child?
The majority of the time now, yes, because my assignment's different. When my assignment was in our family violence unit and I was doing forensic interviews of child victims, then no.
Did you treat us like we were victims that day?
Actually, yes.
And did you think that wearing your gun might be intimidating to a child?
No, given her age, no.
Did you think that shooting her or whatever you did to her, you and Alex, might be intimidating to a child? Oh my God, I'm going to pull my hair out right now. Her hair. Can I pull her hair? I just reach in there and pull it. Let me pull her hair. I'm going to pull her hair so bad. It's unbelievable, right, Ruby? Is this for real? Like, she knows the jury doesn't know, but they're going to find out when this whole thing's over. She's such a fool. Oh, you're right. She needs to rot deeper than the deepest part of hell.
Is that your normal protocol?
Object asked and answered.
She can answer. Overruled.
For which part?
For wearing your gun doing a forensic interview of a child?
So I wasn't doing a DFI of Tylee. I was doing an interview with a witness to a scene. If it was a DFI, it would be different.
How would it be different?
So a dedicated forensic interview of a child is much different. It's structured much different. It's conducted much differently, and they're typically done of victims of very specific allegations. Physical child abuse, sexual child abuse, things along those lines. The interview with Tylee was done basically as a witness interview. I did defer some to almost like a victim status, but her interview wasn't a DFI. It wasn't done as a dedicated forensic interview. She was a witness, a potential witness to a homicide.
How long did you interview Tylee for?
I believe we talked for about similar amount of time, 30, 40 minutes.
At the time, that day on July 11th, did you believe Tylee?
I'm going to object.
Sustained.
With your experience in forensically interviewing children, did you think Tylee's demeanor was genuine that day?
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained.
Did you have a reason to think that she might be making something up?
I'm going to object again to
Sus-
speculation.
Sustained.
Did you learn during Tylee's interview?
I'm going to object right there to hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you learn during my interview that Tylee came in with a bat?
I did.
And was that confirmed by
And
Tylee?
I'm going to object, Your Honor, pretrial ruling
yeah.
hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, can we have a sidebar?
No, that's hearsay. It's sustained.
Yeah, he's over her, isn't he? He's getting done with her. No, we're not having a sidebar. Just keep asking your stupid questions that you're not supposed to be asking, and let's get this over with. Let this poor woman off the stand.
At the end of our interviews, Detective Inklin, where did you put us?
You stayed in the Family Advocacy Center until we were ready to leave.
And did you put us in a room with a victim's advocate
I did.
and introduce us to her?
I did.
And we spoke to her.
I believe so, yes.
And then after however long that was, then you came in with my brother Alex. Is that correct?
We met them outside of the Family Advocacy Center, and then we left to go back to the house.
And you stated that I chatted the whole way back. Is that correct?
You did.
It wasn't Tylee and Alex chatting the whole way. It was me.
Oh my God. You stated that I chatted the whole way back. And she's all, yeah, you did, yacky yak. Clearly, you like to chat. You're standing up here representing yourself, saying ridiculous questions. Ugh.
Specifically,
You mostly.
it wasn't me just looking out the window and them talking to you.
I'm going to object to asked and answered.
You can answer. Overruled. You can answer.
Can you ask it again?
It wasn't Alex and Tylee speaking to you and me just looking out the window the whole way home.
No.
And then when we got back to the house,
Is she thinking this is reasonable doubt that she could say that she was just sad looking out the window while other people were talking? And she was just like, my poor husband, I can't speak. I'm just going to stare at the world going by. How is my life going to be different? Oh, wait, I'm going to get $1 million. Oh, wait a minute.
that's what happened then.
You, Tylee, and Alex left in the rental car, the little red like SUV, and I spoke briefly with the detectives who were on the scene.
Who told us to leave in the rental car?
I don't recall who told you. I just know that Alex could not take his vehicle because the search warrant was still going and the vehicle was on the curtilage of the property.
Right. So we were told we couldn't take the truck. Is that correct?
I believe so.
And we were told we couldn't take Tylee's Jeep. Is that correct?
Correct. It was in the garage.
And we couldn't take my car because it was in the garage as well.
I believe so.
And so our only alternative, because we couldn't enter the house, is that correct?
Correct.
And that we were told that we could come back later, but not at that time. Is that correct?
At the conclusion of the search warrant, yes.
And so we were told that we could take the rental car because it wasn't behind the police tape. Is that correct?
Correct. It wasn't part of the search warrant.
That we could leave and that we could come back later after we picked up JJ from school. Is that correct?
You could come back, assuming you picked him up from school, yes.
Well, that's not what we were instructed to do.
Objection, again, testifying.
Sustained.
So we left, is that correct? And then you entered the house after that?
You left, correct? And I entered the house after that, correct?
And what did you do inside the house after we left?
I had some brief discussion with the detectives who were on scene and at that point left to go work on another case.
So in the brief discussions that you had with whoever this was, were you briefing them on the events of what had happened up to that point, or?
So Detective Coons and Detective Duncan were present, along with Detective Werther. There was a crime scene technician as well. And they were briefly discussing some of the artifacts that they had found in the search warrant and kind of what they were going to do. And I indicated if I wasn't needed, I was going to go work on other casework.
Okay. And then you left shortly after that?
I did.
About what time do you think that was?
I honestly have no idea.
Do you know what time we got back to the house?
I don't specifically recall, no.
You indicated that when we came back to do for Alex to do the walkthrough, that you realized you didn't have Charles' phone. Is that correct?
They had indicated prior to you coming back that they had not recovered Charles's phone. So when you returned, I asked you and subsequently Tylee about Charles's phone and where it was at.
And did she hand over the phone to you right away, right?
She did. She picked it up out of the cup holder and handed it to me.
And that's where it had been pretty much the whole day since I ran out the door with it.
I'm going to object to speculation and
Sustained.
testifying.
And then
You know, she acts like, and you guys didn't even, the way she worded that at first is like, those stupid cops didn't get his phone when they should have a long time ago. And then the police officer, she's like, no, we knew we hadn't recovered his phone yet. And Lori's like, well, it's been in the cup holder all day. Like, they're supposed to know that.
then you asked us for the code. Is that correct?
I did.
And Tylee gave you the code. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that was about what time?
It was later in the afternoon, but I don't remember what time.
And then what happens to the phone as far as chain of custody? What happened from you taking it from Tylee to where it went next?
So our computer crimes detectives work within the main station where I work. Most of our detectives work out of there. And they do the physical exams and the downloads of the phones, computers, electronic devices there at the station. Our property room is separate. It's about a mile away from the police department. So typically when we have cell phones or devices that need exams, we will immediately deliver the device to the computer crimes section. Their workspace, their cubicles and workspace upstairs is a dedicated locked area. The only people that can get into where their cubicles and exam space are the detectives that work in that area. So it sounds silly. We go up and bang on the door and get in touch with somebody, and we will turn devices over to them. And then in our property section and our report management, we do what's called an evidence continuity sheet. So that shows how items travel from place to place, person to person, like a phone to a computer detective, or like evidence from the property room to the lab or something like that. So we will physically hand over items to the computer crimes detectives. Often cell phones have very time sensitive criteria as well. So we don't typically impound them straight into property. They go straight to a computer crimes detective.
Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Thank you for that. I'm going to backtrack to, from your hands, it goes into a evidence bag?
No, it's usually in a bag. It's not sealed because we hand it over because they're going to do an exam.
So who did you hand it over to them at the station, or did you give it to someone else at the house?
No, it got handed over at the station in their workspace. They typically don't come out to scenes unless we request them. So the majority of the time we're turning evidence over to them at the station or their work area.
Okay. So just so I understand, it went from you to them.
Correct.
So you had it in your hands and delivered it to them at the station that day?
I believe so, yes.
And so according to the grand jury, it was at 3:11 p.m.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Oh, sorry.
The objection sustained.
My understanding was that it was about
Hold on,
3.
hold on.
Objection.
Let's break for the evening recess. Let's have the jurors report and be ready for 10:15 tomorrow morning, 10:15. Please remember the admonition.
All rise for the jury.
Case of Tylee Ryan was
Not, I'm going to have to figure out who he. Over the.
Sorry, I figured they were going to talk when the jury was out for a minute, and then I hit the button. It went all the way back to the beginning. So probably Deborah. She's probably trying to say that somebody messed with the phone. Totally. I would not be surprised. And then she brought up the grand jury, and everybody was like, "What?" So I want to hear let's see if he says anything. I have no idea. See, it should be coming back. I'm not going to mess with it.
Please be seated. The jury is no longer present. All right, you can't phrase questions as your understanding or what you believe or what you remember. All those are forms of testifying, so you have to be careful how you ask your question. Also, I sustain an objection because of the reference to the grand jury and what was said in the grand jury proceedings. You can use that time and ask the witness, is 3:30 sound right, for example? But let's move on. The reason that I allowed in the various different clips of the defendant's statement over the defendant's, I should say, interview at the police station over the defendant's objection. Rule 106 isn't really applicable in that situation. Rule 106 is intended to complete a statement when only a portion of the statement is offered and it distorts or changes the meaning of the actual statement. And it's really meant for very short statements, not entire interviews or versions of what happened. Additionally, the state has the discretion to only admit certain parts of your statement that are admissions. They're not going to admit statements, nor should they admit statements that are self-serving hearsay. So there's a reason why your interview has been cut up into different pieces. That's just for the record. Let's have everyone ready at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll discuss those other motions, give the defendant a chance to meet with her team about those other motions that we talked about this morning. So we'll do that at 10. We'll have the jury here and ready to go at 10:15 to resume with this witness. Anything else from the state,
Here, Your Honor.
from the defense?
Yes, we have one item, Your Honor. On Thursday, we were handed this by the state in the morning. It's a new extraction of the devices of Charles Vallow, and it's the gray key that we had requested, but none of them open. So we have a flash drive, and we got it to our expert, and now it's.
Go there.
What?
I have to go see him. He doesn't-
So they're not opening. So I don't know if we need to get a new extraction or if it was tested
Well, I
before it
don't-
was handed over.
I don't know if it's a matter of what program's being used to open it. Do we know? I think we need more information.
Yeah.
We can't utilize it if it's blank.
Well, is
So
Mr. Mr. Dworkin says he can't open it at all?
it's my investigator that can't open it, and then he'll hand it over to Mr.
Why
Dworkin
don't you
as
just
well.
tell me, sir? What's your
Um,
name for the record?
Jeff White.
All right, what's the problem?
I tried to open it. I had Lonnie on the phone this morning. He's out of town, but he is on his way he's on his way back. He won't be here till probably 6 to 7 o'clock tonight. And I need to go up and see if he's able to extract any information from it.
Are you just trying to click on it and opening it? Or are you opening
no,
it with a particular
I
program?
sat with him and we were going over things for about 4 hours this morning.
Okay. I guess, where's the extraction coming from? Who's handing that over to you?
That is the Chandler Police Department handed over the raw data from Gray Key. So it's just raw random data. So I don't know it.
So it's not, is it,
It's not parsed into any sort of way to read.
The reader. That's what I was working with Lonnie.
There is no reader with it. It would have to be then input into a Cellbrite to parse the data. It is the Gray Key raw data.
all right.
And was trying to do that this morning, and that's what I spent 4 hours doing this morning.
I think unless you have a Cellbrite account, you're not going to be able to open that.
I have two different kinds of, I have the old version and the new version of Cellbrite, and I couldn't get them to open. The Cellbrite that they gave us is an old version, the 7.2, I think it is. And I think
They gave us? We
I'm
didn't
sorry?
give you Cellbrite.
It's on the.
That's a UFED reader. That's not Cellbrite.
The Cellbrite is on the Discovery, is on the,
With that,
I'm sorry?
with the Discovery we just handed over,
With the Discovery that was handed over before, it's downloaded onto my computer.
no, I think that's right.
All right.
With the FDRs.
I'm not sure that
I
that's
got two
correct.
different
I
ones.
think that it would need to go to Mr. Dworkin to review.
Is there is there someone at the police department that Mr. Dworkin can maybe get on a call with to try to figure out what the disconnect is here?
Oh, he should be, hopefully, in the next hour and 40 minutes, he'll be back home.
I guess if he has a problem, I mean, obviously I have multiple problems with the fact that we're still talking about an expert that has been presumptively precluded.
Right.
While the state is nearing ending its case in chief. That
I
being
guess
said,
in theory, it could be for the next trial, but I don't know that that's going to happen either.
So I guess I would need to know first if that's actually a problem for Mr. Dworkin or not. And then if so, we would have to try to, perhaps he could explain why it's a problem.
I guess, is there someone Mr. Dworkin a contact point to try to figure out why, if it's a problem on this end versus that end?
I don't have anyone off the top of my head. My case agent is out ill today, so I couldn't tell you who that would be.
Okay.
Your Honor, she had an expert come to testify this about the Gray Key. I don't know if he's a person that was on the stand on Thursday that we could.
I think that's Colby. Is that Colby? Did he do that to his hair? Is he like shaved with that on top now? Looks like him from behind, sorta, kinda.
Ask about this. I don't know if he made the extractions and gave them to the prosecution.
I don't know if that's technically an extraction as opposed to the raw data.
That is just the raw data.
I'm still trying to figure out, is it a problem with what's been disclosed, or is it a problem with who's trying to open it, the correct programs? I guess get with Mr. Dworkin later tonight and see if it can be resolved. If not, I'm going to have to figure out who he needs to contact or try to problem solve tomorrow sometime.
We'll let you know in the morning, Your Honor.
But again, this is unlikely to be an issue for this trial, but it could be something for the next trial. All right, we'll be at recess. I wish I had a better resolution, but I don't right now.
traveling.
All right, what all that was. It's not an issue for this trial, but Lori always has to have something. And that must have been Colby because, yeah, I did watch him live. It did look like he had a little, I wasn't watching, I was more listening, a little man bun thing going on up there. I think you're right. I think that was Colby. Mannerisms were like Colby. I was listening to Colby last night. He was really on a roll, and he was mad about some other people in the world that act like, or that are slightly related, he was saying, and are acting like that they know everything. So he's got a little bit, there's some stuff going on. I hope he just takes it in stride and just keeps going, because I think he's doing a really good job with his channel, and to focus on that negative energy and people trying to get their 5 minutes of fame over it is just a waste. He really needs to just, he's doing good. He's got his channel's growing. He's getting lots of super chats. I watch him as much as I can. He's getting interviews on other big channels and stuff. So, I hope that all that extra drama doesn't cause him too much stress, because even people in the comments were like, you just need to stop this and focus on your family. But this can be a nice little side income. And he's putting a lot of effort into it. And I'm sure he's spent money on equipment and cameras and this and that. And he has those 3 little kids. So hopefully, whatever I know, I'm not gonna get into it. But anyway, I just hope that he just ignores the naysayers and the people that have negative stuff. There's always going to be people spreading gossip. I guess one of the biggest things he was upset about was that people are saying, and have been for a long time, I heard this years ago, that Tylee didn't come to his wedding. And she did, but Lori sabotaged some stuff from and I believe Colby. And it appears Lori sabotaged some stuff. And so it made her not there for some pictures. And apparently they only had paid a photographer for pre-photo, but not for later or the reception. But he does have pictures of Tylee sitting there in the front row next to Charles and JJ. And I guess there's people out there that are saying that he photoshopped Tylee in. I don't even see what the point of that would be. I think sometimes people go from my PayPal link. Yeah. Ruby, do you have it? Nightbot has it somewhere, probably. Anyway, I just feel bad for him, because he's just he literally, this is his family. He's one of the most directly involved people, like him on this side and Kay Woodcock, other than that. And it's just, I don't know. It's just freaking ridiculous that it has to be more drama at this point. Let the man do his little side gig on YouTube, grieve his family that he lost, because he has nobody now. And am I still there? I lost myself here. Hold on. My whole StreamYard just disappeared. Hold on. I lost my StreamYard. Hold please. I went to go look for there it is. I went to go look for my link, and I lost everything. All these other windows popped up. I think it's let me find it for you. I'll find it, because oh, yay, Stacy, welcome back, new member. Welcome back. You get your badge back now. Okay, hold on. Oh, you're on your antique iPad. We need PLM back. She's she's the one that's good at this stuff, this behind the scenes stuff. We all got our special qualities. Okay, hold on. Here it is. This should work. If I can get my mouse down here. Mouse. Okay. I am on slow-mo tonight. That should work. Oh, thank you, Mickey. Appreciate that. I have an iPad from 2015. The only thing that works is YouTube. I have other computers, though. Yeah, these things get obsolete real quick, don't they? Technology moves so fast over the last 10, 20 years. That's insane. Yay, Stacy, Stacy, Stacy. And you guys, we're doing members only happy hour on Friday nights. So please, if you're a member, join us on Friday night for happy hour, probably about the same time, 6:30. And we will go over things. It's casual. And if you guys want to come up on stage and talk, like have a panel or whatever, or you're welcome to do that too when we're doing our members only. So it's kind of fun. We haven't been doing them for a while, but we are now. A ton to work through. Yeah, he does. He does. All right. It is 7:05 here. Hello from sunny Arizona. My child, who's an adult child, kept me awake last night. I swear, I was like, why aren't they back from Coachella yet? So they came here to stay with me, him, two of his friends, his one friend's wife, and their kid. And then he went to Coachella, and then he didn't come back. And it's like your kids don't live with you. When they don't live with you, don't wake up worrying about them. But it was like midnight. I'm looking in, okay, should be back any minute. 1:00. I'm looking, I'm like, they're not back yet, because I know the music has to shut down. And then like 2:00, they're not back yet. So I kept waking up, and I have to be able to let them in the gate because my other kid lost my fob. A whole nother story. My oldest is my most irresponsible of all four of my kids. And he's the one that lost the fob. And so I couldn't give this one the fob. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. I woke up so many times. And so I text him. I'm like, hey, are you coming back? And he's like, oh, yeah, we stopped at so-and-so's friend's house and we'll be back soon. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, fine, I'll hear it. I'll hear the phone ring to let them in the gate. And then I fell into like a deep sleep. And like at 3:30, phone rang, so I let him in the gate, and then the dogs are barking and the people are coming in, and then I had a hard time falling back to sleep. And then anyway, so I'm a little foggy today is my point, but they went home. They left here you guys, it's only 120 miles for him to go back home. And he texted me, that's Coachella traffic is insane. He left here. He told me we took off. That was at 12:57. When I was texting him right when I was starting here, he said, still in traffic. That was at 5:58. Oh my, that's crazy. That's just insane. That many people clog up the freeway back to Southern California, to Orange, to the coast part of California, to LA and Orange County, all for this concert festival. Anyway, I do too. I think Colby has grown a lot. I think this was thrown at him, and he is like my other son, like a little older than my youngest, the one I was just talking about. He's had to grow up fast. He had Lori for a mom, and raising three children. And me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's me. It's my married name on there. Well, I'm not married anymore, but that's my married name. So yes, that's me. You got the right person. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. I'm so many people. And I'm just going to change to my Greek last name next because you never know. I might just disappear. But yeah, on my Greek passport, they're going to put my dad's Greek name in the feminine form. And I don't know who I'm going to be in a minute. But yes, thank you so much, Terry. Appreciate it. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here and chatting, and I'll try to go get some rest so that tomorrow night I'm not as foggy. Or I'll let the cat run the show because the cat clearly is in charge around here. So, but I do appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. And stay safe and stay well. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay. Bye-bye.